Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am your English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the writing portion of Unit 1, that is, writing a personal letter. So, let's begin. Alright, we are now going to start how to write a personal letter. Before doing that, I want you to learn about some of the basics of a personal letter. So, what are the different components that we use in a personal letter? That is my question. They are address, date, salutation, body, and closing. So the address is written on the top. After that, we write the date. Then comes the salutation, then the body part, and finally the closing. Right? So you can either write a complete address or a short address. Since it is a personal letter, you don't need to write complete address. You can just write the name of the place, and that would be enough. After that, you need to write date. Since it is a personal letter, you don't need to write the full date. You can just write month and day. Year is not compulsory, but you can write if you want to, because it is a personal letter. You don't need to write the full date. Salutation can be done in different ways. You can simply write something like, "Dear friend," or you can mention the name of the person, "Dear Ram," or you can simply write Ram and start your personal letter. In the body part, what you need to do is you need to write at least 2-3 paragraphs and explain about the letter. What is the letter about? Now, personal letters are generally short, unless you are writing a long elaborate version of maybe describing someone or describing an event or a particular incident. Otherwise, generally a personal letter is a short letter. It would be around 2 or 3 paragraphs. It would ask general nice questions, but there would be niceties, and there would be something about the main idea of the letter, and you would end the letter. And in the closing part, what you should do is you should end the letter by using the closings. It could be something like yours, or yours truly, or it could be your friend, right? But truly yours. So like this, you can end your personal letter like this. Now let's go and read a sample personal letter. One example is given in the book. Let's just study that. Right, this is the sample personal letter that is given in your book. Let's start by reading this. First, we have the address, and then we have the date. So remember the format. It is address first, and afterwards it is date. Do not interchange these two. So remember the basic format. First comes the address, then comes the date. Look at the address, Birganj, Parsa. You don't even need to write Parsa. Since it is a personal letter, the person that you are sending the letter already knows where you are. So you can simply write Birganj. And in date section, you can simply write Jan 8. There's no need to write 2017. But if you want to write, you can write the full date, no problem. Then comes the third part. What is the third part? It is salutation. Salutation. In salutation portion, you can write Dear Nilu, or simply Nilu, or Dear Sister Nilu, or My Dear Sister Nilu. So you can choose various salutation formats. And after salutation, what is the fourth part? It is the body part. Now, body is divided into 2 or 3 short paragraphs. Since it is a personal letter, you are not going to write long and boring paragraphs. Your paragraphs would be short and precise, correct? And the sentences should be short and to the point. Do not go round and round, beating around the bush. That is not the point. Now, in the body section, you are going to ask some questions. You are going to explain about it. And in the end, you are going to conclude your argument or your letter. Now, the letter begins with something like, "How are things with you?" Or you can simply say, "Hi, how are you?" "Hi, Nilu, what's up?" So these could be some of the, basic ways in which you can begin a personal letter. So the first question that Satyadev Yadav, her loving brother, asks is, "How are things with you? When you left home for a homestay in Ghalegaon, I was really sad, but now I'm happy to know about your exciting journey there." So the writer went to stay in Ghalegaon along with her parents, and only her elder brother Satyadev Yadav was left. Do you remember this? You should. So that was the reading portion, right? In the reading portion, we talked about the writer's memorable journey to Golegaon and what she did and things like that. So you should remember the reading portion also. Neelu, now he is again addressing her sister. How was your holiday there? Again, there's a question. I want to know about the detailed description. Now you want to know about the detailed description of your journey and your experience. Will you send us a letter? Will you send us a letter? Wish you a safe journey back home. And what is the last element called? It is called closing. Now here we have the closing. How is the closing done? It is done by writing your loving brother, Satya Dev Yadav. You can write simple phrases like something like truly yours, but this would be more romantic, right? Truly yours, or something like ever yours. And these sound a bit romantic, but it's okay. You can use this while you're writing a letter to your siblings also, no problem. Truly yours, ever yours, simply yours. Yours is the best one. You can write yours and forget about writing long sentences, long phrases here. Correct? And in the end, you close the letter by writing your name. Sometimes you can sign also, right? You can write something like Satya and you can sign. Signature could be another element, but this is not mandatory. It is optional, so you can opt out writing this. Alright, so that is all about the personal letter. Now let's go once again and study about the body. So this is the basic format, right? We have address, then we have date, we have salutation, and we have the body, and finally we have closing. In the body paragraph, these paragraphs in the body paragraph as a whole can be divided into 3 distinct sections. The first one is called introduction. Now in this introduction section, you're going to introduce the topic. You are going to ask some questions. You're going to ask, you are being nice and polite and all that. You're going to start with some customary hellos and highs, and you can move on to other kind of niceties. And in the second paragraph, you will introduce your argument or some idea, right? Simply, you can introduce the idea or the argument, and in the final paragraph, you will conclude. So these are the 3 distinct sections of body. So it would be 3 paragraphs, it could be 4 paragraphs, does not matter, but do not write long and boring paragraphs, because that is not the purpose of writing a personal letter. A personal letter should be short, it should be precise, and it should be to the point. There should be no long and boring paragraphs and stuffs like that. Now Satyadev Yadav has asked Neelu to write about all the detailed description of her journey and her experience, right? Now she needs to write in detail. She needs to explain everything. She needs to explain how she reached Golegaon, how she enjoyed the homestay, and how she enjoyed the locality, the vicinity, the atmosphere and the aura and stuffs like that. She needs to explain everything, but it does not mean she is going to do that in a boring way. She has to spice things up. She has to be nice. She has to write interestingly, because after all, letter writing is an art, and like every form of art, it demands a lot of practice. That's my point. So you should practice a lot of writing, a lot of letter writing, then only the form of letter would improve, and your writing would improve. Your sentences would be smooth and it would flow. They would flow. That's the whole idea. Now my concern is letter writing as an art. Now letter writing is an art. Letter writing is not simply a technical way of looking at things and solving problems. Letter writing is not academic. It is academic, but it is not purely academic. It is more inclined to the art section, right? So what you need is you need to recall the long lost tradition of letter writing, and you need to focus on your handwriting, because you see, handwriting is very significant when it comes to letter writing, because the more you focus on your handwriting, the intimate your letter becomes, because in a way you are connecting to some other human. In a way you are connecting to another soul across the globe, or across boundaries, right? By the art of writing. So there has to be that feeling, there has to be that humanly connection in your writing. So the handwriting has to be very specific and special, you see. Focus on your handwriting, especially focus on the strokes. Focus on the strokes. Now go to YouTube, go to some Google, some websites, and just find out how you can practice the art of calligraphy. You can go to the website called monkeysee.com and work on your handwriting, because handwriting matters in letter writing. We are in this age of technology where we think that handwriting does not play any significant role, but that is wrong. Without the proper knowledge of handwriting, we would not be where we are today. So behind the gleaming fantasy that technology has provided, there is the subtle art of technology which still lurks beneath all the technical aspects. Now there is read, write, read more, finally write more. So that is my motto. So letter writing is an art. So let's start, by the way. So you need to recall the long lost tradition of letter writing. People used to write letters back in those days, back in 18th century, back in 19th century. People still write letter in this 21st century, but letter writing has had its charm back in those days, and you need to recall. You need to bring back that charm, and you need to give special priority to your handwriting. You should focus on the strokes, the lower strokes, the upper stroke, the curves and everything. You need to give special attention to that. And finally, read the letters. There are very nice, literary letters written by authors, written by people who knew how to write. So read as many letters as possible. Go to the internet, google.com, and find as many good letters. Just search literary letters and you'll find many links. Go through the links, read the letters, write more letters, and read more and write more. And with that comes the refinement in your writing, and your writing would be smooth and there would be the flow, right? So it is an art. All right, this was something about the lost art of letter writing. Now I want to give you some homework. Your homework is pretty easy. All you have to do is write a letter. So this is your homework. What you need to do is you need to read or reread the sample letter that's given in the book. So what was the sample letter? That one that we just discussed, right? And finally write a reply. Now you're being Neelu. You're standing in her place, and you're going to write a reply. You're going to write the detailed description of your journey and all the exciting things that you did in Kalegaon. So that's it. With this, we have come to the end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.